You met with the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu for a security briefing today. Could you tell us what was discussed?
Shalom, Yalda, and thank you for having me on your show and to have this opportunity of an interview. Obviously, I cannot convey what happened today in the Prime Minister's office, but obviously on the Iranian issue, from our perspective, there's no coalition or opposition. There's no right or left. There's simply right or wrong, and I think we are right. So we were there to be updated by him, to be briefed by him, to consult him, and to give whatever we can give from our experience. It's very important for us. I think it's also important for the region. I think it's also very important for the world. But that was the direction of our discussion.
Mr. Gantz, what do you say to those who are critical of Israel launching this attack, describing it as reckless? And of course, we are seeing now civilians targeted here in Israel. A hospital was hit. The Iranians say that they were trying to hit a military facility, but of course the hospital was hit as well in Beersheba, and that many would say that what Benjamin Netanyahu has done in this moment is reckless.
I don't think that's true. Let's be strategically honest with ourselves. We've been waiting more than 18 years with this issue. We have tried discussion, JCPOA, sanctions, diplomatic approach, IAEA inspections, everything we can think of, and yet the Iranians continued to develop their nuclear capabilities and their missile programs that actually threaten not only Israel but the entire region and also Eastern Europe. And if we would wait, it would threaten, I would say, Central Europe and more than that. More than that, Iran has supported all these proxies around us. In Syria, in Lebanon, in Yemen, in Gaza. Look what happened on October 7th. This is all made in Iran. Let us not forget this. So Israel held itself as much as it could. And I think it's very important that we will intercept this nuclear approach of the Iranians and their strategic capabilities. And I want to emphasize, all those people, all those organizations I talked about, they are recognized terror organization aiming at Israelis by the orders of Hamas, of Iran itself. We are acting against military strategic targets. Unfortunately, sometimes civilians are close to it. We do the maximum we can to avoid hitting civilians from happening, and I'm very sorry for every event such as this happening, whether it's in Iran or even in Gaza, because Hamas has embedded itself so much into the population itself. We cannot simply stay here and say, okay, guys, go ahead, kill us again. It's not going to happen again. October 7 happened only once. It will not happen again, and Israel will stand for its security.
Mr. Gantz, though, the U.S. intelligence community is saying there is disparity with the intelligence that Israel has. Just a couple of months ago, Tulsi Gabbard said that Iran, they didn't have any intelligence to say Iran was building a bomb. Just a few days ago, I spoke to the Director General of the IAEA, and he said his assessment was that while Iran was not meeting its obligations, they were not weaponizing their program. So why this disparity, and why now did Israel make this move?
We all know that the Iranians have been lying throughout this process, concealing stuff and saying one thing and doing other stuff. Even the MI6 have said, I believe last November, that the steps that the Iranians are doing towards nuclear is a threat for the entire world itself. And of course, there is a difference between what people are saying publicly and what intelligence organizations are sharing between them. It was the last time that we could do this before it comes to a point of no return. And I think our intelligence was shared with our colleagues all around the world. And I think that it was very important that we will start this strategic event, I would say.
Would you say that Israel is running low now on interceptors? Because that is also the reports that are coming out.
Israel has the best air defense systems, both in terms of specific elements like the Arrow or others, but also as a whole concept. And we have upgraded it in the last few years. You know, I had this privilege as a Minister of Defense following the Abraham Accords to create what we called Middle East Air Defense, and we saw its activities back in October, April, and even now. Unfortunately, the British are not participating this time, but I hope that sometime they will join us again. I think it's very important for them as well. But basically, we have a good system. We understand that nothing comes without a price. But the strategic importance of what we are trying to achieve is so important that we did take in consideration that we might feel some pain, and unfortunately, we do feel some pain. I wish you are safe staying here. But we must do what we have to do.
I just want to turn your attention to Gaza and ask you a few questions about the situation there, because, of course, you stepped down from your position because you were frustrated at how this war was being prosecuted. The World Health Organization says that 94% of Gaza's hospitals have been damaged or destroyed, and that 917 people have been killed in healthcare facilities. That's healthcare workers. Can I ask, I mean, is Israel deliberately targeting hospitals and healthcare facilities? Because so far we're seeing dozens and dozens of hospitals and healthcare facilities being destroyed by the IDF.
Yalda, this is absolutely not true. And please, let me take a minute to explain you. Back in 2014, I was attacked because I had to attack a hospital that anti-tank weapons were shooting from, and I had to wait to make sure that it's being evacuated from all its people and all its personnel before we hit it. And we did it in 2014. When we went back to Shifa Hospital and we raided this hospital, we did everything in our capacity to make sure that no one is getting hurt. We even put more equipment into it to support the patients that were there. And by the way, those hospitals are a coverage, or actually they are being used by Hamas to put all their tunnels and all their operational infrastructure underneath those hospitals, underneath those mosques, underneath those schools. So what we are doing is we are alerting them. We are making sure that they are being evacuated, and then we do what we do. We don't go deliberately and directly and hit an hospital just because it's an hospital. No way we're doing it.
Well, I understand what you're trying to say, but Ehud Olmert has said that Israel is committing war crimes. Martin Griffiths, the former UN humanitarian chief, has described the situation in Gaza to us on Sky News, to me, as genocide. We're seeing an outcry and criticism from the international community. If you're saying you're not deliberately targeting civilians, and every day we're seeing dozens of civilians killed when they try and go to food depots for food, if you're saying that is not happening, why not allow international journalists into the Strip to be able to assess this situation themselves?
First, I think there is a huge coverage of media inside Gaza this way or another. So I don't think that's the main issue. I want to emphasize that we are not doing what we are being accused to do. This is not true. And the fact that some Israelis said something, that doesn't make it true to begin with. Yalda, look at me. I approved workers from Gaza to come to Israel. I allowed Israelis to stand up every morning in the Gaza gates to take patients from Gaza to Israeli hospitals to be treated. Palestinian kids that were taken to Israeli hospitals, brought back at the very same day, and the woman who did it, among others, was murdered on October 7. We did everything in our capacity from 2007 on to balance between humanitarian needs, economical needs, operational needs, yet Hamas decided to do what it wanted to do. We are not going to be butchered again. While saying that, I want to emphasize that we will not stop fighting. but we will not stop sending them food. Unfortunately, UNRWA was used by Hamas. Unfortunately, the food that is getting in 200 trucks per day or more is being controlled by Hamas, being sold to the people of Gaza in high prices and keeping the Hamas regime in place. So I think, seriously speaking, I'm very sorry for everyone who suffers in Gaza. We gave them all the possible chance. Look what was the price we have paid for that. So we must continue what we want. I hope that one day, and I'm a man of peace, you know who I met with, you know what kind of approach I have in trying to promote peace in the region. I have nothing against the people of Iran as much as I don't have anything against the people of Gaza, even though that my sense of what happened in October 7, you can imagine what those are. But I do hope that one day they can live with something they can live with and we can live beside. Until then, we must continue to operate to free our hostages, to make sure that Hamas is not threatening us anymore, and we can move forward. And I want you to know that all those radicals, Hezbollah in the north, or Hamas in Gaza, or the people in the radical regime in Tehran, are interceptors for future positive processes. Because when did Hamas started this? Just we were on the edge with normalization with Saudi. And they were directed beforehand, and they took the decision to attack us at the very same day. So being a man of peace and somebody who wants to live side by side with the Palestinians, but to make sure Israel is a safe place for its citizens, we must do what we must do. And I want to tell you seriously, yes, we are fighting for our own security. For us, it's an existential threat. But aren't we serving strategically the region? Aren't we serving strategically the global society? What's happening in the Red Sea with more than 10% of navigation sea commerce that goes there? What's happening with the drones of the Iranians that are being exploded in Kiev for more than 2 years now? That's what's happening. And let us not tell this story. If all those things have happened when the Iranians don't have nuclear capacity, imagine yourself what would the nuclear canopy would give them in future times. So yes, I know it's uncomfortable right now. I know, unfortunately, people are losing their life. But appeasement and de-escalation now and not achieving the goal that we are talking about will jeopardize the future of all of us, not just us Israelis, and we're going to defend ourselves, we know how to do it, but also the people around us. And I understand that no one will come up with declaration, and I understand where they're talking. I'm talking with everyone. Israel serves its own security agenda, but it definitely serves the future of stability and prosperity in the region, and stability and more prosperity in other places like Europe that Iranians are involved there. The only thing between prosperous and us is the Iranian regime and its proxies all around the region, and we must face it.